If you've clicked on this video, I assume you either have misophonia and you're looking to better understand what it's like from other people, their perspective, or you probably have a close friend or loved one that has it and you're looking to understand better what it's like for them dealing with it, living with it. I've had misophonia since early puberty, which is when most people tend to develop it. It tends to onset as they go through puberty. First started to feel it when I was around 10 or 11 years old. Middle school, high school, it became pretty much what it is today. Most of the time, it's not the actual feeling you get from these stimulus, the most common one being people chewing and making mouth sounds. Really the most, I would say, impactful aspect of it is the constant going through life, thinking ahead of how and when you're going to encounter these certain stimulus. The thing that makes it really challenging is the actual emotional response to this environmental stimulus. One, comes from other people, and two, it's irrational. Someone chewing is not, on paper, rationally, a reason to have a full-blown fight or flight, but in the brain of someone that has it, like myself, where the wires are crossed, that's the only reaction that you can have, which is an irrational reaction in the grand scheme of things. How you go through life thinking about every single situation you'll ever find yourself in, from the grocery store to the dog park, to getting in an Uber, to work, to school, to hang out with friends, to going to the gym. Every aspect of your life, you're making this constant kind of risk or threat analysis. When you have misophonia, someone who is creating a trigger, or you're in an environment where someone's chewing gum, which is the worst, or making a sound that triggers your misophonia, what that person is essentially doing, your body and your subconscious is treating it like a threat, like a danger to you. And any individual person, on the snap of the fingers or the blink of an eye, when any human being around you can become a threat, quote unquote, and give you that feeling of fight or flight, of I need to make this stop or I need to get away from this, it impacts you in every possible social situation. And anywhere you go, at any instant, someone chewing gum can suddenly give your body the reaction of, I am in immense danger right now, which sounds like very soft, for lack of a better term. It sounds silly when you say it like that's the reaction you have, but subconsciously that's the reaction that your body will have. So when I think about going through my day and I think about going to the dog park or going to the gym, or if I'm going to hang out with my friends, or if I'm going to do whatever, every single social situation in the back of my head, and it's just so second nature at this point because it's every time I've ever stepped foot out the door. That's really, I would say, the mental toll that it takes over time. Having misophonia, it's every time you go anywhere, it's, do I need my headphones? What is the likelihood that there's going to be a stimulus there that will trigger me? If so, do I have an escape route? If I don't have an escape route, do I know the person well enough in all likelihood to ask them to stop? What do I do? And it's very easy to, well, one, get mentally exhausted, but also just not want to put yourself in those situations as often. Everywhere you go, you're constantly be scanning and evaluating them subconsciously and consciously of, is this person chewing gum? Are they doing something that will bother me? Is it safe to be near this person? Very easy to end up in a pattern where you just don't want to go out and do certain things. You don't want to take part in certain activities. Some people, it's mostly the auditory stimulus. For some people like myself, it's the auditory and visual. Even going to the gym, I'm constantly scanning. And the gym is a good example because you have your headphones in, your music is blasting, you can't hear anything. It is still the same exact experience of scanning around you. This is the next machine I need. Is there anyone around it? If so, are they chewing gum? If they are they chewing it grossly where it's bothering me? Will I have on the machine that I go to next a direct line of sight to that person? If I can see them, does it look like they're almost done with that machine? Is there someone else that is seemingly about to use a machine that might be bothering me? And it's just this constant threat analysis of looking around and trying to figure out how you can navigate different social situations, how you can navigate life in a way that can protect yourself from that horrific, miserable feeling. And that feeling when you do get triggered, like anyone that has misophonia, it's a horrific feeling. So a feeling terrible enough that you will go through every aspect of life trying to make sure that you avoid it at all costs. And yeah, it becomes very mentally taxing. And I think it really becomes frustrating over time when, because it is irrational, you can't really explain it to people. Unless you have it, you'll never truly understand it. You're constantly scanning your environment, evaluating everyone and every situation for how likely it will be to put you in a situation where you're feeling triggered. Very common, normal situations that for the typical person, it's a great experience going out to dinner with friends. Certain situations you just don't want to put yourself in. I grew up playing baseball. As my misophonia started to affect me and it really took shape, there was no world where I could be playing baseball, being in a dugout, being around kids that are 100% going to be chewing gum, chewing sunflower seeds. That is a situation where I would feel incredibly stressed, looking over my shoulder, constant anxiety, zero enjoyment in it. There's all kinds of different situations like that. Anytime I get into an Uber, I'm making sure I have my earbuds. Situations that might already be stressful, something like work or school, or for me, getting on a flight. And the fact that I could end up sitting directly shoulder to shoulder with someone that's going to be chewing or doing a certain thing that's going to really be bothering me, it makes that entire experience 10 times more stressful. If you have misophonia, then you know the feeling I'm describing, where you're constantly going through life, scanning, evaluating the environment around you, doing a constant risk analysis of how likely you are to be bothered by someone or something. That's really the toll of it. It's the social isolation. It is the constant looking at other people around you as, are they going to give me a sense of being in danger? It's something that you could explain it to people, but unless someone has it, they're never really going to fully understand what it's like to go through life this way. When you Google misophonia, when you try to explain it to someone, people can, for the most part, wrap their head around these certain things really bother me in an extreme, intense way. But what people really fail to understand, the constant going through life of, you are in a different situation mentally in any different environment than people around you. When you go to a movie theater, you are not trying to figure out what is the safest place to sit. I know that there have been horrible things that have happened in movie theaters, but that aside, just all these normal situations of going to a sporting event or a movie theater or going out to dinner with friends, it is risk analysis. It is trying to figure out how I can endure this and try to get through it in a way where I can maybe enjoy it. Where do I sit? Is it someone that I could explain it to? Is it someone that knows about it? If I get up and go to the bathroom and kill for time, how likely will it still be happening when I come back? Socially awkward would it be if I had to explain it to this person? And yeah, it's just this never-ending thing that just makes you approach every social situation with a completely different mindset. You truly have to live it day in and day out for weeks and months and years, fully understand what it's like. So if you do have a loved one that has it, it is a lot more than just when X noise happens or something is happening around them, it bothers them. In between those moments is really when it impacts your life. Because when I hear something and it bothers me and I get pissed and I feel that horrific feeling, it sucks, but it's in between those moments where it impacts you, where it takes the real psychological toll of, I would love to go to the movies. I would love to be part of a softball league with my friends. I would love to go out to dinner. I would love to X, Y, and Z, go work in an office potentially. Those are completely different social circumstances for someone with misophonia than for someone that it isn't. And that's what I'm starting this YouTube channel for. When I was a kid, I thought that I was just going batshit crazy and I didn't know what misophonia was. Not many people really at the time did. I know me and my family certainly didn't. Again, it's irrational. Like, I am seeing certain things and hearing certain things around me that give me this incredibly intense reaction that not only does it not bother other people, like other people don't even notice it. It's happening right in front of them and they don't even realize it. It is like a siren going off in your head of this needs to stop or I need to leave right now. So when I was a kid, I thought I was going crazy. And since then, I've developed my own coping mechanisms and tactics for how I go through life and how I try to live the most out of life with it. That's what I want to share. So yeah, stay tuned. If you're watching this YouTube video, it's the first one that I'm posting on this channel, but this is something I wanted to share for a long time. There's a lot more to come. I appreciate you watching this far if you have, and I'll see you next time.